Good morning, students. Today we will take up the second part of the previous video that is based on aldehydes and ketones. So let us see the next named reaction, that is Perkin reaction. It is a very common reaction which is usually asked in the examinations. So it is a kind of condensation, an aldol condensation, in which an aromatic aldehyde condenses with acetic anhydride in presence of a base, sodium acetate, which leads to an unsaturated carboxylic acid, which is cinnamic acid. So let us see the mechanism. So the first step is the formation of the carbon ion. So what will happen is that acetic anhydride in the presence of the acetate ion, it loses a hydrogen and that forms a carbon ion as shown in the figure here. Then the second step is the attack of the carbon ion on the carbonyl group. So you will see in the next step what is happening is the carbon ion that has been formed, it is going to attack the carbonyl group of the aldehyde, that is benzaldehyde, in presence of a base. So that is a nucleophilic attack. And then the third step is the protonation of the alkoxide. तो जो बनेगा उसका protonation हो जाएगा next step में. And then next step is dehydration. एक water molecule निकल जाएगा. And last step is hydration. So जब एक water molecule इसमें से निकल जाएगा तो in the presence of base यानी H2O निकल जाएगा, H plus निकल जाएगा, and then हम उसको जब हाइड्रोलाइज करेंगे, हाइड्रेशन करेंगे, तो the final hydrolysis product is again we receive the acetate which was taken in the beginning, and the product is cinnamic acid. Next is the Mannix reaction. So what happens in this reaction is that formaldehyde in presence of amine and a carbonyl compound with an active methylene group, that gives a product which is called as a base or the Mannix base. So let us see the mechanism. The first step is the formation of iminium ion. So, or an iminium salt will be forming. So formaldehyde, it reacts with the amine to form an iminium salt. And then that later on gives an iminium ion as shown in the figure. Then next step is formation of the carbon ion. So that like acetone or a ketone or an aldehyde, that will, in the presence of base, that will rearrange itself. There will be a hydrogen shift from the alkyl group to the oxygen group, and then that will form a carbon ion. Now, since carbon ion is negatively charged and the iminium salt has a positive charge, so these will both combine together, and then this carbon ion, it attacks the iminium salt, and then we get this product as the Mannix base. Next step, next reaction is the Wittig's reaction. So it is a very common reaction. It involves the use of the phosphorus halide. So what happens is that in the first step, phosphorus halide itself forms. So this reaction, basically it is a reaction of aldehyde or ketone and this phosphorus halide to give substituted alkene. So the phosphorus halide, first it is obtained by the action of the base on the alkyl phenyl phosphorium halide. So you can see the triphenyl phosphorus, it reacts with the methyl iodide, and then in presence of a base, it leads to an halide. So this compound with three like phenyl groups on phosphorus and then methylene group, that is called as phosphorus halide. Then what happens is that this then further reacts with the aldehyde or the ketone or the carbonyl group, and it takes away this phosphorus, this triphenyl phosphorus group takes away the oxygen and gives the substituted alkene as the product. So in the reactions below, you can see an example of acetone with this reaction, and then benzaldehyde with the same is given. So when benzaldehyde reacts with this phosphorus halide, the product is styrene. It is a very famous polymer. And then similarly, acetone also reacts to give substituted alkene. And the product, the remaining byproduct is phosphorus, this phosphine oxide. So triphenyl phosphine oxide is formed. Now, if we see the mechanism, so the first step is the attack of this halide. So what happens is that this phosphorus halide, it exists as a resonance hybrid of the two forms A and B. Now this B form, if you see, that has a negative charge on the carbon, so that acts as a carbon ion. And so this initiates the nucleophilic attack on the carbonyl group. And so this reaction of this carbon ion with the carbonyl group, it results in the formation of an intermediate which is called as betaine. And then eventually the byproduct is of the byproduct of the reaction is a phosphine, triphenyl phosphine oxide. Next reaction is the reaction of ammonia derivatives. So there are a lot of 4-5 ammonia derivatives. So there's just hydroxylamine, then hydrazine, phenylhydrazine, semicarbazide, and then 2,4-DNP, that is 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine. So all of them, when react with the carbonyl group, you just have to arrange them in such a way that you keep the H2 group of the amine on like adjacent to the carbonyl oxygen, so that you can easily remove the H2O molecule, and then remaining parts of the both the compounds you can combine together. So in case of hydroxylamine, it gives oxime. Then in case of hydrazine, it gives hydrazone. Then phenylhydrazine, it gives phenylhydrazone. Semicarbazide gives semicarbazone. And then 2,4-DNP, hydrazine gives its respective hydrazone. Now this fifth reaction is particularly important because it is used to identify the carbonyl group. So when you do the mixture analysis, you will use this reagent to form this respective hydrazone, and that is what is called as DNPH test. Now let us see the mechanism, how this happens. So if we take a general, all these ammonia derivatives, if we give a general formula as H2NG, and we see normally the similar, all of them are reacting in the same way. So the first step is the attack of the proton. So what happens is that the proton from the acid which is used to catalyze the reaction, it attaches itself to the electron rich carbonyl oxygen, like this, like this is given at the top of the page. And then again this removes, because it is attacking initially, it is going away also. 1H plus is going, and then we get this intermediate, and then from this we remove an H2 molecule, and whatever product we get, that is the respective product. Then this is the final, like this is the whole reaction. So the first step was the attack of the H plus. Then the second step is the attack of the nucleophile. So the ammonia derivative, in which nitrogen has a lone pair of electrons. So since it has a lone pair of electrons, so it is electron rich, or it acts as nucleophile. So it attaches itself to the carbonyl oxygen, and this results in positive charge on the nitrogen atom. And then this H plus, loss of proton is happening. So H plus is going, and then in the last step, water molecule is also going. Okay. Now let us take an example with acetaldehyde and hydrazine. So we know that the product is this hydrazone. So there is a part of the acetaldehyde of the aldehyde, and there is a part of the hydrazine. The product is a hydrazone. So how this happens? So first, like if we revise, the first step was attack of the proton. So proton is attacking the aldehyde, and then the next step is what? This NH2 like hydrazine, this is attacking. And since carbon has like positive, like if you see this, then you see that there is nitrogen which is nucleophilic. It is going to attach to the this carbon atom, and then this is happening. So the attack of nucleophile is happening. In the third step, this proton will be going away. So 1H plus we remove. And then in the last step, H2O will also go. And then the final product is the hydrazone. Next important reaction is the halogenation of the carbonyl compounds. So there are two ways acid and base promoted. So we'll see the acid promoted first. So what happens is that if we see the mechanism, so the rate of the reaction is proportional to the concentration of the carbonyl compound and the acid, but it is independent of the concentration of the halogen, right? Because it is in too much excess. So if we see that the rate of halogenation is directly proportional to carbonyl compound and H plus. Now, so what does this mean? This shows the possibility of formation of an intermediate in the rate determining step. So we know that the slowest step is the rate determining step. So if it is a multi-step reaction, then we have to see which step is the slowest step and the active species involved in that step. So that will determine the rate of the reaction. So the intermediate in this reaction is an enol. And the steps involved we will see now. So the first step, if you see simple attack of this halogen, that is a fast step. Then the second step, if you see very carefully, then what will happen is that there is an enol which is being formed, and in the next step this halogen is adding. So basically what is happening when the halogen is adding, that is not a slow step at all. So that is a fast step, and then it rearranges and it gives the enol product. So with respect to this reaction, a lot of observations have been seen. So it has been found that in this acid catalyzed halogenation, there are two possibilities of the products. So there will be one less branch product, then there will be one more branch product. But it has been found that this out of these, mostly the halogenation takes at the methylene group rather than at the methyl group. So, for example, if we see this in case of simple ketone, it's fine. But if in case of a ketone where one group is methyl, other is ethyl group, so you would think whether the H plus will go from the CH3 group or the CH to CH3 group. So here it is found experimentally that what we obtain is a more branch product. Why? Because the fact that the enols are more branched and more stable. Why? Because the product obtained because of this reaction, it is a more stable product. We know that the more stable the product, the faster it is formed. So if you also go with the carb-cation mechanism also, you will see that this is the more stable product. And yes, so this will be tertiary, and then this will be secondary sorry, this will be a primary, this will be a secondary carb-cation. Now the next step, next important observation is that halogenation of the monohalogen ketones does not take place readily. Why? Because the halogen already present tends to withdraw the electron towards it. So it is found that normally monohalogenation will take place, and then in case of ketones, when already one group has been substituted by halogen, further halogenation is not possible. Why? Because there is already a halogen group which is present, so that will tend to withdraw the electron towards itself. So this prevents the attachment of the OH ion on the carbonyl oxygen. Now, it has been found that the aromatic aldehydes and ketones, they undergo electrophilic substitution in presence of FeCl3, and because we know that the aldehyde or the CHO group is meta-directing, so the product is a meta-derivative of the halogen. Next, we see the base-promoted halogenation. So what happens in this is that one or more alpha hydrogen atoms in the carbonyl compound can be replaced by halogens in the presence of base like acetate or hydroxyl. Now, if we see the mechanism, so it has been found that the kinetic studies, they reveal that the rate of reaction is proportional to concentration of carbonyl compound and the base. Again, it is independent of the concentration of the bromine group. Why? Again, because the slow step does not involve the bromine group. So if we see the mechanism, so there is first base which is adding, and then bromination is happening, which is the fast step. Now, base is actually consumed in the date determining step, so we call it as a base promoted reaction rather than a base catalyzed reaction. If the base was being obtained again at the end of the reaction, we would not call it we would call it a base catalyzed reaction, because the catalyst does not itself undergo any change, it only participates and then it comes back. But since here it is being consumed, so we call it as a base promoted reaction. Now, certain observations also in case of this reaction also, that halogenation occurs preferably at the methyl group rather than the methylene group. Why? Because there is alkyl group which is electron releasing. So what happens is that it decreases the acidity of the methylene hydrogens and prevent the formation of the carbonyl. That is why preferentially carbonyl 1 is formed rather than carbonyl 2. Why? Because we know that the order of stability of carbonyl is what? Primary, then secondary, and then tertiary. So here, primary carbonyl which is being formed, the more stable the carbonyl, the faster it is formed. That is why this product is favored. Now, if we see the base promoted halogenation of monohalogenated ketones, it takes place preferentially at the carbon already halogenated. Why? Because such hydrogens are more acidic, and they tend to be more better replaced by the halogen. Next step is the oxidation. So oxidation with aldehydes. So with Fellings, if you see, so we have to see what different reagents used for oxidation of aldehydes. So the first is the Fellings. So we know that Fellings solution is Fellings solution A and B. One is copper sulfate, and the other one is sodium potassium tartrate. So what happens is that when in presence of these two reagents, the aldehyde forms from cupric to it form cuprous oxide, which is red precipitate, and that confirms the formation of the carbonyl group. Then with Tollens reagent is what? Ammonical silver nitrate. So what happens is that aldehydes, they reduce Tollens reagent on heating, and silver is deposited on the inner walls of the test tube. So that is why it is used to determine the aldehydic functional group. and it is also called a silver mirror test. In the oxidation of ketones. So ketones actually they do not contain an easily oxidizable group, and so they do not also react with the tolerance reagent or the filling solution. But what happens is that they need a strong oxidizing agent and prolonged heating so that they can be converted or oxidized to the respective carboxylic acids containing lesser number of carbon atoms than the original one. So there is actually breakage of the chain. Now, the next few slides are basically gist of all the common reactions, general reactions. So if we see the reduction of aldehyde with La, that is lithium aluminum hydrate, so the product is aldehyde leads primary alcohol. Then there is MPV reduction, Mewin Ponroff-Verley reduction, that is the reduction of these aldehydes or the ketones with in the presence of aluminum isopropoxide. So the ketones they will produce secondary alcohol. And Wolff-Kishner reduction is again the reduction of ketone in presence of hydrazine NH2 NH2 in presence of base, and the product is again a substituted alkene. Then Clemenson's reduction, it is the reduction of the carbonyl group in presence of zinc mercury, and so the product is instead of alcohol, it directly gives the alkane. Then next is biomolecular reduction to pinacol. So you have studied this, how pinacol is from pinacol rearrangement also you have seen. So two ketone groups, when they react, they reduce, and then the product is pinacol. Then addition of Grignard reagent. So we know that the ketones on reaction of the Grignard reagent, they give respective secondary alcohols. So formaldehyde gives primary alcohol, and then aldehyde, acetaldehyde will give secondary alcohol, and they will give tertiary alcohol. Then addition of HCN. So HCN, it is the addition is actually a nucleophilic addition, and the product is a product has actually both forms, one OH group and one carboxylic group. Then again, Clemenson reduction is given here. Then aldol condensation, condensation of two aldehydes in presence of base. The product is aldol. Claisen-Schmidt reduction is the basically a reaction of a benzaldehyde with an acetone, and the product is benzyl acetophenone. Then there is Clason's reaction, that is reaction of benzaldehyde with an ester, and the product is substituted like alkane. So there is H2 molecule is being removed. Then again, Perkin reaction is given here. So that gives cinnamic acid, benzoin condensation. We have done that. And then Novengel we have already done. This is just a gist of it. Then Staub's reaction is an extra reaction. If you want to see, you can see. Reformats also we have studied. Alpha bromoester gives beta hydroxyester. In Canizaro's reaction, we have studied two aldehyde groups in presence of a base condensed to form one acetate, and then the other is an alcohol. In Manic reaction also we have done. So that's all from my side on this topic, students. Thank you.